with us right after the first 30 minutes. Rambo, thanks for your patience, and don't feel rushed tonight. You have as long as you need, my friend.
Thank you again. You're very generous with your platform.
What do you think? What do you think about her story?
It's interesting. It's credible. I can't say whether it's true or not. How would I?
Right.
How would I know if it's true or not? I mean, but it's perfectly credible. What part of the story is not credible?
Especially with what we talk about here in documents. So we need more people like that to speak out. And she's not the first. There's been other people who've called in over the years who also seem like smaller artists who got smaller contracts who've hinted here and there. But that's the most outspoken anyone's been. And she did share some things about herself. So I'm sure if anybody wanted to do some homework, they could figure out, who she is. But yeah, I just want to make that point, because for the people in the chat who are like, oh, I don't believe this story, why are you guys even writing something like that? Do some research and then come to a conclusion. If you don't think the story is true, then say why. Don't just write, I don't believe it. I mean, that's discouraging. Maybe somebody's in the chat and her story is real and they're thinking about sharing their story, and then they're like, well, look, I mean, she's just getting mocked by people in the chat. And I didn't see many people doing that, but just all the people out there who just spew venom and hate and discredit. Like, there's even people accusing you of being a shill. It's just like, why would you accuse Rambo of being a shill? He just calls in and shares his time with us, gives us an interesting thing. And when Rambo makes a mistake here or there, I don't think it's intentional, and sometimes it's not even a mistake that people are complaining about. But just go out and look into what he's saying. I mean, it's 95+% of it's all going to be there for sure every single time. So. Anyway, I'll be quiet now. Rambo, you got the floor, friend.
Being attacked is inevitable. I mean, who in the truth movement has not been attacked or accused of being a shill? Can you name one person who hasn't been accused of being a shill?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, if you're not called a shill, you're probably a very minor person in the movement. Maybe you have your blog, maybe you do good decos, but you're not considered significant enough to be considered a shill. It's kind of ironic. Once you're considered a shill, it means you've arrived at a certain level. And, thanks to you sharing your platform, I guess, if I'm considered a shill, then I've reached that level where
you're having an impact. Indeed, you are. You're absolutely having an impact. So.
Yeah, if I'm small, insignificant, nobody would call me a shill.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
and everyone knows you're the real star here, Rambo. Every night you're just so humble, but we all know every Wednesday night the brightest star is Rambo. So again, I apologize for making you wait so long and derailing the conversation. So I'm just gonna zip my lips now.
No, that's fine. This is your platform. I mean, you're very kind, but this is your platform. But it was, you talked about relevant. It was a relevant conversation that you brought up. So my latest offering is based on an incident that happened just yesterday. And here's some synchronicity here. She said she's from Ontario. Well, this incident that I'm doing my decode in is from Ontario, California, a suburb of Los Angeles. So how's that for synchronicity?
Interesting.
There was there was an explosion in the suburb of Ontario, California yesterday. And so the title of my post is The Ontario, California Explosion, the Jesuit Order, and Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. So, as I said yesterday, there was an explosion in the suburb of Ontario, which is 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. The key there is 35 miles. Well, I'll get to that. So I put a quote in here, a very famous quote from St. Ignatius of Loyola. I see some Jesuits who deny he ever said it, but I've looked, I consider all arguments. So some Jesuits say he never said it, but they don't really. I haven't seen much of an argument against it. I see other Jesuits who do embrace it. I think they say like Georgetown graduation. So it pretty much is his quote, and it's out there. So it's out there for a reason. Go forth, and set the
Rambo,
world on fire.
this is, I know, I'm sorry. This is where gematria also becomes relevant because that phrase in the most pure cipher is 144, just like Jesuit order is 144. And we know they do rituals around this number all the time, just like the simulation at Georgetown 144 days before the election where Biden wins in a close election and Trump refuses to step down, which leads to chaos and physical altercations and death in the streets of America, which was essentially the January 6th simulation. But yeah, that's again where gematria really plays its part because it shows. Okay, that phrase, it's encoded, and you guys are definitely known for encoding the things you do. Okay, I'm rezipping.
Yeah, no problem. Uh, the Roman Empire never died. It simply adopted a new facade. The Vatican and the United States of America are manifestations of Rome. Now, if Rome is still in power in occulted form, then it stands to reason that the gods of Rome are still being venerated. The fact that the United States has adopted two of the most vivid symbols of Rome, the eagle and the fasces, uh, and Washington's D.C.'s moniker is Rome on the Potomac, and the United States Senate occupies Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., the way the Roman Senate occupied Capitoline Hill, and the Lincoln Memorial being a replica of the Temple of Zeus in Olympia, Greece, Zeus slash Jupiter being the chief deity of Greece and Rome. The Vatican venerates Jupiter in the guise of Saint Peter. The temple to the elite chief deities of Rome, Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva, collectively known as the Capitoline Triad, was also located on the hallowed Capitoline Hill. Throughout modern history, but especially recently, as the dark occulted Rome-influenced elite's vision for the world comes closer to fruition, we are seeing a spate of worldwide massive fires and explosions. For example, Australia went up in unprecedented flames from 2019 to 2020. Equally unprecedented wildfires have devastated especially California and Arizona in recent years. Historic urban fires have erupted purportedly from police brutality protests across the United States in 2020. Epic explosions of mass destruction have been experienced in Beirut, Lebanon, on August 4th, 2020. You covered that at length. As well as in Equatorial Guinea in West Africa. And this one, you covered that as well on March 7th. That was just 9 days ago, 2021. And I left a link to your post on that explosion, urban explosion. And just yesterday, March 16th, 2021, a massive explosion in the Los Angeles, California suburb of Ontario rocked that neighborhood. This was blamed on fireworks. The Beirut explosion was also blamed on fireworks. Fires and fireworks are directly associated with the Jesuit order, primarily through the infamous 5th November 1605 attempted coup of the British government and the assassination attempt of King James I by Jesuits in a plan known as the Gunpowder Plot. It was also known as the Jesuit treason. A major Jesuit conspirator was Guy Fawkes, and the Jesuit treason, aka Gunpowder Plot, is commemorated annually in Britain on the 5th of November on Guy Fawkes Day, also known as Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Fireworks Night or Bonfire Night. Further association between the Jesuit order and fires is the famous quote attributed to the founder of the Jesuit order, Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Go forth and set the world on fire. Because the gods of ancient Rome are still being venerated, we need to look at which Roman god ruled the realm of fire. That would be Vulcan, the son of Jupiter and Juno. Now, your latest post was about Elliot Page, who used to be Ellen Page, and she's most famous for the movie Juno, and at the end of that movie, she gives birth. Now, if she's Juno, and Juno gives birth, Juno gave birth to two sons in mythology. One was Mars, the other was Vulcan, so I think it's appropriate that I'm doing this right after you just did a post on Elliot Page. The Juno is she's apparently is very ritualistically significant when you think of Juno and the significance of these Roman gods. And Vulcan. So at the end of the movie, she gave birth. I did a decode on that, and I said very likely that the birth was Mars. Well, Vulcan was the other birth of Juno. So Elliot Page, Ellen Page, is directly relevant to this. So yeah, the son of Jupiter and Juno is Vulcan, the god of fire. Remember that Jupiter and Juno are elite deities honored on the sacred Capitoline Hill. Vulcan, known as the god of fire, was also the god of the forge and metalworking. Vulcan is also the god of volcanoes, from which the term gets its name. Volcano comes from the Roman Vulcan. So he's also known as Vulcan, V-U-L-C-A-N, but also Vulcan, V-O-L-C-A-N. Vulcan/Vulcan is honored on the holy day of Vulcanalia, or Vulcanalia, which is primarily August 23rd. We may know that as Kobe Bryant's birthday, Kamala Harris's father's birthday, Donald J. Harris. Also, River Phoenix. There were some celebrities born on August 23rd. Well, August 23rd is Vulcanalia. Vulcanalia was also observed on May 23rd. There were actually two observations. May 23rd was another day that Vulcanalia was observed, and that's very relevant because May 23rd in a leap year is the 144th day of the year. And you were just talking about 144. And set the world on fire, and then the god of fire is honored on the 144th day of the year, May 23rd. It all lines up. So I think we're getting to the bottom of what is at the heart of these rituals, the esoteric root. It's the Roman gods, in this case, Vulcan. Another name for Vulcan is Mulciber. I guess that's how you pronounce it, Mulciber. M-U-L-C-I-B-E-R, Mulciber. That's another name for Vulcan in Rome. In ancient Greece, because the Roman gods were inherited from Greece, in ancient Greece, a Vulcan was Hephaestus. Are these fires and explosions possibly occult homage by the Jesuit order to Vulcan / Hephaestus? Well, we'll analyze through an esoteric lens yesterday's explosion in the California suburb of Ontario. And I have links to most of the articles, mostly from ABC. And here the headline was, Ontario fireworks explosion. Two cousins ID'd after being killed in blast. Crews working to clear 80 properties of debris. So it is reported that two men and a dog died in the explosion or ensuing fires. One of the victims has been named as Cesar Paez. His first name is Cesar. That's the Spanish version of Caesar. Caesar is a Roman reference, especially relevant since Roman emperor / dictator Julius Caesar famously died on the Ides of March, which is March 15th. Cesar Paez is reported dead the day after the Ides of March. So go figure that his name is Caesar He died the day after the Ides of March. I mean, if somebody really did that, I mean, I don't want to be insensitive, but it is interesting how this is all lining up to these Roman narratives. And if you look at the Gematria of Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, and compare it with Caesar, Cesar, it is a super match across 3 out of 4 base ciphers, Caesar and Vulcan.
Interesting.
And the 35 is the number of Vulcan. So as I said, Caesar sums to 35, as does Vulcan, sum to 35. Vulcan is the god of blacksmiths, the trade of blacksmithing, while blacksmith sums to 35. Vulcan is the god of volcanoes. Volcano sums to 35. Volcanic lava is known as magma. Magma sums to 35. Vulcan is a fire god. Fire god sums to 35. The Jesuit order that venerates Roman gods and is associated with fires is Catholic, which sums to 35. To light a fire is to ignite. Ignite sums to 35. Ontario, California is 35 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. 35 miles is 56 kilometers. And this community knows the importance of 56 to the Jesuit order, so that works out perfectly for them. It's 35 miles and 56 kilometers. The Beirut, Lebanon explosion of August 4th, 2020 occurred on a date that left 149 days in the year. 149 is the 35th prime number. So there's 35 again with the Lebanon explosion. Now remember that the Beirut, Lebanon explosion, just like Ontario, California explosion, is blamed on fireworks. One of the 2 people reported to have died as a result of the explosion is Cesar Paez. His full name, Cesar Paez, sums to 149, which is the 35th prime. Now, ABC reports, they have an eyewitness report, and the eyewitness's name, most people don't want to put their names out there, but here's a name that they put out there. Arlene Fierro, Fiero. I didn't look into the etymology of Fierro, but come on, just look at that name. We're talking about a fire, and her name is Fierro. So I have not had time to look in the etymology. Maybe someone can do it. Fierro, very suspect name there. So what do you think the Gematria of Fierro is? Just 35. Now, there's a photograph here of the explosion, and the photograph is taken at the corner of Francis Street, and I'll get to that. Interesting name, Francis Street. At the corner of Francis Street where it happened, and Bonita Avenue. Bonita Ave, with Avenue abbreviated, AVE, sums to 35. The Ontario, California incident is being labeled the Southern California fireworks explosion, a phrase that sums to 511 and 461. 511 is like the date 5/11, 5th November. 461 is the 89th prime. Vulcan sums to 89. So that's California, Southern California fireworks explosion. That's what it's being labeled as.
Rambo,
Again,
I gotta unzip my lips again. I'm sorry, I have to. Okay, so religion equals 89, and the gospel is 89 chapters, the story of Jesus, and the Catholics worship on Sunday, and there's all the connections with 93 in the language and Jesus and the sun being 93 million miles away, and the 930th chapter of the Bible being where the Christian part begins, Matthew 1:1, and Adam lives to 930, and Jesus is crucified between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., and in 2012 they said his crucifixion's April 12th, the 93rd day of the year, and again he's the Son of God, and the sun in the sky of God is said to be 93 million miles away. And again, triclavianism equals 93, the three nails that are in the Jesuit logo, which is of the sun. So I'm just thinking, okay, fire god, sun god, ending your prayers with amen, which is an Egyptian sun god, and the occult eye being, the eye of God being the sun. When God's eye's out, it's light. When it's closed, it's dark. And I equals 35 as well, just like fire god, like I had up there. Does it seem coincidental, or does it seem that there's a greater connection here?
Well, yeah, obviously we know that this is, they're deeply ritualistic. So, yeah. I did come across some 93s. I didn't write those down. I try to use as few numbers as possible, but I did come across some 93s. I can add them later.
Rambo, okay,
but
so
clearly they're...
I was going to say, Lucifer is associated with Venus, which is also very important to the Jesuits. And there's parallels in the Bible between Jesus and Lucifer. Is there some fire connection with Venus?
Lucifer isn't just Venus. Lucifer is the morning star. The sun is also the morning star. Venus is the morning star. There's a famous quote or phrase, Lucifer, son of the morning. And that's actually a misquote. It's not a complete quote. The full statement is Lucifer, son of the morning star. The morning star is Venus, and Venus appears at dawn, and Venus ushers in the day, the rising sun.
Oh, Rambo, so the commercial coming up on us. We'll be right back, everybody. Right. 2-minute break. We'll be right back.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again, so I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at naturesyouth.com. Naturesyouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got Rambo with us. Some of you in the chat asking over the break, did you hear about the death of the Tanzanian president? He's dead 139 days after his birthday. That's the 34th prime number. Black equals 34. Also interesting about 139 being the 34th prime. If you write out Freemasonry, it's 139. And if you write out free, it's 34. 139, the 34th prime. Black 34. Black president dead 139 days after his birthday. And I'm sure there's a lot more to it as well. I see he was born in 59, dead on the 17th. Remember, 59 is the 17th prime, and kill equals 59 and 17. But yeah, I'll look into this more. I wasn't aware that this was in the news today. So I will definitely look into that a lot more. And without further ado, I'm going back to Rambo because he was interrupted. We're back, Rambo. Thank you.
Thanks. The Tanzanian president actually had publicly exposed the COVID test, the PCR test. He actually sent the WHO some samples because they sent a test kit to Tanzania, and he took samples from fruit, and he labeled them with a person and an age, and then the test came back positive for COVID. And what he did, he said that proves that the tests were bogus. It actually made the WHO just look like complete clowns, and
Sure.
he really clowned them. Because he sent them, he sent them samples from fruit, DNA samples from fruit, which their test kit thought they were human, and it gave them a positive reading. So he exposed COVID. I think that has a lot to do with why he died.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, you should see his speech. You should look up how he exposed COVID.
Hey!
Also, you asked
his name, John Magufuli, or however you say. Do you know how to say his name correctly?
I have to see how it's spelled, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I can pronounce it properly. I don't know how it's spelled.
Magufuli.
Oh, Magufuli.
Magufuli. Okay, John Magufuli.
I'm not sure whether it's Magufuli or Magufuli. Yeah.
It's one of those two. But the way his name equals 56 and 187 in the same ciphers as Society of Jesus, and then it also equals 61. And he's dead at 61, and he's dead on a date with 61 numerology as well. And we know Jesus is 61, like Christian, like Christmas, like cross, like church. And again, it's the Jesuits who have a lot to do with what's going on, but I see he was in office since 95 as well, another big Jesuit number. So it's possible that like a guy like this is part of this Jesuit cabal, but then he's just like, even though he's part of it, he's just so sick of things. He sees it's ultimately not good. He speaks out, and then he ends up dying by the numbers. Could be something like that.
Do you know what his birthday is?
Yeah, it's October 29th.
Oh, okay.
139 days after the
All right.
birthday.
Well, you asked about you were asking about Lucifer.
Right.
Lucifer is Venus, but Lucifer is also the sun. The moniker for Lucifer is, I guess people erroneously say Lucifer, son of the morning. It's Lucifer, son of the morning star. Venus is the morning star, and Lucifer meaning the sun. The sun is the sun, S-O-N, of Venus, because Venus is a harbinger of the sun in the morning. So the female version of Lucifer is Lucy, which is Venus. Lucy is Venus. Luke is the son. So Luke Skywalker in Star Wars is Lucifer, but he's the male son. He's Luke. And actually, the morning star is a trinity, because another morning star, which is not as visible and smaller, is Mercury. The only time you can really see Mercury with the naked eye is at dusk and dawn. Mercury is also the morning star. So the morning star is actually a trinity. It's the sun, Venus, and Mercury. They're all, the three of them are morning stars. And in Revelation, I think it's 22, somewhere Revelation 22, Jesus says, I am of the, he called himself, I am the bright and morning star. Jesus refers to himself as the morning star. And Jesus is representative of either the sun and or Mercury. So that's what Jesus meant when he says, I am the morning star in Revelation.
Very interesting.
So yeah, that's, yeah. So Vulcan's 89 and 461 is the 89th prime. Southern California fireworks explosion is 461. Southern California fireworks explosion is 511, like the date, 5th November. If the notion of Jesuit influence seems to be a stretch, then consider the location of the explosion, Francis Street, West Francis Street to be precise, Francis being the name of the current and first openly Jesuit pope, happened on Francis Street. Remember that the commemoration of the Jesuit treason, 5th November 1605, is known in Britain as Fireworks Night. And the Untitled California explosion is blamed on fireworks, and the Gematria should end all doubt. The location of the explosion, West Francis Street, with street abbreviated ST, and Jesuit treason are a perfect match across all four base ciphers. West Francis Street and Jesuit treason. And you talk about fireworks, all four. I mean, I think this should end all doubt. This is the beauty of multiple ciphers as well, because the odds of two phrases matching, which are related, matching up over four different ciphers just emphasizes more the fact that it can't be a coincidence.
That it's deliberate.
Yeah, so West Francis Street, 176, that's what street abbreviated, ST. Jesuit treason, 176, but also Guy Fawkes Night is 176. Guy Fawkes, also known as Guido Fawkes. Guido Fawkes is 176. 9 days before this, and you covered this, I left a link to your decode. There was an explosion in an urban area in Equatorial Guinea in West Africa. Well, Equatorial Guinea comes to 176. The popular refrain from the 1605 British Jesuit treason gunpowder plot, remember, remember, the 5th of November, sums to 176. All these related terms. Explosions and fireworks, Jesuits, 176. I mean, what are the odds of all that matching up? Then there's the number 50. West Francis Street was street abbreviated ST, and Jesuit treason, both sum to 50.
Remember, Jesuits.
One of the two reported death.
Jesuits, the plural is also 50, just like Washington, their city. Jesuits 50, Washington 50, in the same cipher that you have up there with the guy's name, Cesar Paez.
That's another one. And this is what the ABC reported. Quote, the incident occurred shortly after 12:30 p.m. Tuesday in the 400 block of West Francis Street. About 50 firefighters still worked to douse the flames. So 50 firefighters. You think that number is a coincidence? No, it lines up with this. Another quote from the report is, just after 2 p.m. Tuesday, fire officials issued an evacuation order for the Francis Street and Maple Avenue between Fern and San Antonio Avenue. So these are interesting names, Maple Avenue and San Antonio Avenue. Close to the scene was Maple Avenue, which they highlighted. And you look at the match between Maple Avenue and Beirut, and it's a super match over three base ciphers. So you remember that what they have in common is fireworks. were blamed for both ones in Beirut. So Maple Avenue is abbreviated AVE. Also, so Maple Ave is 75, Beirut is 75. The incident yesterday, March 16th, was the 75th day of the year. So 75 is significant there. Maple Avenue, with Avenue spelled out, also sums to 115,115, like the date November 5th. San Antonio Avenue is also highlighted. Now, the Greek form of Vulcan, the Roman inherited Vulcan from the Greeks, Hephaestus. Hephaestus and San Antonio, again, is a super match over 3 of the 4 base ciphers. Another aspect of this, it could be a ritual around the star Sirius. So the headline is that massive fireworks explosion kills 2 people and a dog in Southern California. So the Ontario, California explosion and fire could also have been a Sirius ritual. In the occult, Sirius is a sacred star. It's highly venerated in Freemasonry and occult. Even it goes back to ancient Egypt. Highly venerated, the star Sirius. And Sirius is known as the dog star or the wolf star, and we know the importance of the wolf to Rome. Often a dog or a wolf will appear in a Sirius-related ritual. Rome was founded in mythology by Romulus, who was nurtured by a female wolf, along with his twin brother Remus. The star Sirius is located in close proximity to the constellation of Gemini. And the symbol of Gemini is twins, and it is said that the power of Sirius emanates through the pillars of Gemini. That's why you often see twins and Sirius in the same ritual. You see that very often. So the reference, and this ritual was performed on 9/11 when a security dog named Sirius is reported to have died in Tower 2 of the World Trade Center. Who knows if there really was a dog like that? But and that was a Sirius ritual. You saw the twin towers and Sirius. That's the star Sirius, which is located in proximity to the constellation of Gemini, and they say ritualistic, symbolically, its power emanates through the twin pillars of Gemini. Also, the time they give for the explosion is 12:30 p.m. If you look at the date, 12:30, December 30th, that's around about the time that Earth is closest to Sirius, to the star Sirius. So it does look like, and yes, and that's why they report that there were two men and 1 dog died. That seriously looks like a Sirius ritual. Also, if you look at, I didn't put this up yet, but the Gematria of Sirius is 67, 95, and 32. Vulcan, with its alternate spelling, VOLCAN, has the same 3 values, 67, 95, and 32. So I think this was also a Sirius ritual. Also, on the Free to Find Truth platform, Truth Does Not Exist was asking me about a dog Sirius, but I wasn't sure what he was referring to. I don't know if he's listed, but I don't know if this is the dog he was referring to, because he just asked me about a dog named Sirius. If this is the dog he was referring to, then I can give him more on that. He just asked me about it, and I wasn't sure. And it just came up just by, I didn't even know it would come up in this. So just if he's listening, I will get back to him, but I wasn't sure if this was the dog he was referring to Sirius. But yeah, so the 2 dogs and the dog and the 2 men killed is part of a Sirius-related ritual.
Very interesting. Yeah,
And,
it would be tragic to find out that they really raised a dog named Sirius just for the ritual. That would just make it all the more sick. So.
Yeah, but they're proven psychopaths. You know, they killed thousands of humans.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I wouldn't put it past them at all, just so they could have it there for that day. The dog Sirius.
Yeah. So most likely they did name a dog and raise the dog and name it for the ritual. Yeah, most likely, yes. Yes, absolutely. They're psychopaths.
It's a very easy thing to do when you know that you have those planned rituals. So, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, this is one thing I was thinking when you're talking about people who might be concerned about if you put yourself out there, you'll receive trolls, and harassment. Uh, there's only one way to really avoid being trolled and harassed when you put yourself out there, and that is to say nothing, to do nothing, and to be nothing. That's the only way to guarantee not to be controlled. Trolled.
Sure.
Or called a shill. Just don't say anything. Yeah, so I consider that.
Yeah, that very well could be true. Well, I appreciate it, Rambo. Amazing work as always. I feel like it's just getting better every week. So, I have a feeling next week you're going to look more into that Juno time cover. Am I wrong?
The Juno. Remember, I talked about the. No, they were talking about how gender reveal parties were
setting fires. Yeah.
Wildfires.
Right.
Remember my decode on that, and 53 was key to that. 53 and 35 were keys to that.
Right.
And so this is also this is all related. So yeah, and I could talk about the relation of these fires in the 35 and 53 and its association with the whole the transgender theme. So yeah, they are tied in. Yeah, and Juno, absolutely. I could add to that, but like this story happened yesterday. I don't know what will happen between now and next week that I might decide is.
Well, the cover debuts March 29th. The story's out today, but the cover debuts March 29th. So this cover still isn't out. It's a ways off. So you might want to look into the timing of it because you'll probably catch something there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll look into that. But yeah, I definitely see a between 53, the transgender number 53 and 35, and how this is related to Vulcan. And again, at the end of the movie, she played Juno. Juno gave birth to Vulcan. So yeah, this is completely related to it.
And the cover is coming out on a 53 date numerology, March 29th, 21st. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. So you're already decoding it.
Yeah, but I know that you would probably see a lot more here, as you always do, Rambo. But yeah, no, cover whatever you want. Since you started with that, I was like, maybe he's going to do that for his next post. Look more into that cover. So, yeah. All right, friend. Well, I appreciate it. If there's nothing else, I guess we'll hear from you next week, or unless you let me know sooner. Because, again, people enjoyed the other week when you called me over the weekend and you did that separate stream. So if you ever want to do that again, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm glad you got positive feedback. Maybe I can strike while the iron is hot and do if I see something Ellen Page, so it can flow with this.
Okay. All right, Rambo. Appreciate it.
I'm not promising, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever time allows. I get it, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks again.
Yeah, you have a good night. Take care. Okay. Now, from there to Toronto. So, second call from Ontario. Amazing. How are you doing this evening?